The wind hits you like a wall. You're falling, not gliding, not soaring. Falling. Beak first, wings half open, the ground rushing toward you at a speed your brain cannot yet process. You have been alive for exactly 11 days, and right now every single one of those days might be your last. This is what survival feels like. Not glory, not freedom. Just the raw, desperate weight of being alive, and the terrifying possibility that you won't be, a second from now. Welcome to the wild. Welcome to your life. The beginning. You don't remember being born. Nobody does. But you were there, inside the dark, pressing warmth of a shell no bigger than a human fist. You could feel the curve of it against your skin, the muffled rhythm of wind outside, the distant sound of your mother's call vibrating through the walls of your entire world. And then one day, something in you said, now. Not a thought, not a decision, an instinct, ancient, unstoppable, written into every cell you carry. You pushed, you cracked. You broke through. The light was violent. The cold was immediate. Your eyes, still sealed, could sense brightness, and your lungs, breathing real air for the first time, pulled in a world that smelled nothing like the inside of that shell. It smelled like bark, like damp leaves, like height, because your nest was built 40 feet above the forest floor, wedged into the fork of an old oak tree that has stood in this valley for over 100 years. You are a red-tailed hawk. You weigh less than 2 ounces. You cannot see clearly. You cannot stand. You cannot regulate your own body temperature. You are, by every biological measure, one of the most vulnerable creatures on the planet right now. And yet, you are alive. There are 3 of you in the nest. You can feel your siblings pressed against you, radiating heat. Your mother returns before the cold has time to take hold, spreading her wings over the 3 of you like a living shelter. Beneath her feathers, the world is warm again. Safe again. But safety, you will learn, is never permanent. It is only a pause between dangers. Level 1. Basic survival. The first weeks pass in cycles of hunger and sleep. You grow fast. Faster than almost any other animal your size. In days, your eyes open. In weeks, you triple your weight. Your body is burning through energy at a rate that demands constant feeding, and your mother obliges. She hunts from before sunrise to after dusk, returning with voles, mice, small snakes, prey that she tears apart and places directly into your open beak while you scream for more. You are always screaming for more. Hunger in the wild is not the dull discomfort you might imagine. It is sharp, urgent. It sits in your chest like a hook pulling. Every hour without food feels like a threat, because it is. A hawk chick that doesn't eat enough doesn't grow strong enough. A hawk chick that doesn't grow strong enough doesn't survive. Nature has no patience for weakness. The nest is your entire universe. But the universe is not safe. On the 3rd week, while your mother is away, a large raven lands on a nearby branch and stares at the 3 of you with dark, calculating eyes. You don't know what a raven is. You don't know what danger is, not yet. But something in your body knows. Your heartbeat doubles. You press low into the nest floor. Your siblings do the same, instinctively silent, instinctively still. The raven tilts its head. 1 second, 2, 5. Then your mother's shadow crosses the sky, and the raven is gone before she even lands. She doesn't know what almost happened. You won't remember it consciously. But somewhere deep in your developing brain, a connection is being made, one that will shape every decision you make for the rest of your life. Stillness can save you, but stillness alone is not enough. Level 2. Adaptation. The day comes when your wings are ready, or close enough. Your mother stops landing in the nest. She lands nearby on a branch just out of reach and calls to you. She has prey in her talons. She holds it where you can see it, where you can smell it, and she waits. You lean forward. The edge of the nest is suddenly terrifying in a way it wasn't yesterday. The drop below you at 40 feet of open air feels like an invitation to death. Every instinct in your body is screaming 2 contradictory things at the same time. Fly and don't fall. You jump. You fall. For 3 horrible seconds, you are just weight, just panic, just feathers snapping open in desperate, uncoordinated bursts. And then, something catches. The air catches. Your wings find the angle, not perfectly, not gracefully, but enough. You crash into a branch 8 feet below and grip it with talons that are still learning how to grip. You are shaking. Your mother lands beside you. She drops the prey at your feet. She does not comfort you. She does not praise you. She watches you eat, then launches back into the sky. That is the lesson. Do the hard thing, then eat, then do it again. In the weeks that follow, you fly, badly, then less badly, then with something beginning to resemble purpose. You learn to read the wind. You learn that a headwind is not your enemy but your tool. You learn that height is power, that altitude equals options, that the bird above always has the advantage over the bird below. But you also make mistakes. On a grey morning in October, you spot movement in a field below and dive. Your first real hunting attempt. You hit the grass at speed and find nothing. You underestimated the distance. You overestimated your control. You sit in the wet field, slightly stunned, as a crow watches you from a fence post with what feels uncomfortably like amusement. You try again the next day, and the day after that. On the fifth attempt, your talons close around something real. The vole is small, the catch is imperfect, but it is yours. You eat it there in the field, wings spread wide to shield it from the world, and for the first time you understand what it means to survive by your own ability. Not because your mother fed you, not because the nest kept you warm, because you learned, because you adapted. The wild does not give. It only responds. Level 3. Mastery. Winter arrives and with it a new kind of challenge. The fields are harder, the prey is faster and scarcer. The cold makes everything more expensive. Every movement costs more energy. Every failed hunt drains reserves you cannot easily replace. Other predators are hungry too. You are no longer just learning to hunt. You are competing. But something has changed in you. You are faster now, more precise. When you scan a field from 200 feet up, your eyes, 8 times sharper than a human's, can detect the twitch of a mouse beneath 6 inches of snow. You can calculate wind drift, ground angle, and approach trajectory in a fraction of a second. Adjustments happening so fast they don't feel like thought. They feel like knowledge built into your body. You claim a territory, not aggressively, not yet, but through presence. Through daily patrols flown along the same borders, through calls that carry your signature across the valley, through the quiet authority of a predator that knows its ground. Other hawks test those borders. You push back. One confrontation, a larger male circles your feeding zone too closely. You rise to meet him, talons forward, screaming. It is brutal and brief. He pulls away first. You land on your post and feel something new settle in your chest, something close to ownership. Something close to power. Instinct honed by experience is beginning to look a lot like intelligence. Level 4. The peak. 3 years have passed. You weigh nearly 3 pounds. Your wingspan stretches 4 feet across. In a straight dive, you can reach speeds above 100 miles per hour. You are at this moment in your life one of the most efficient predators in this entire ecosystem. You have a mate. You have a territory. You have a nest you've rebuilt and reinforced 2 seasons in a row, layered with fresh branches and lined with soft material carried from half a mile away. Inside that nest for the second time there are eggs. Your life has weight now, responsibility, stakes. Every hunt is not just for you anymore. You fly the morning patrol in silence, riding a thermal up through the cold clear air until the entire valley lies beneath you like a map. You can see the river glinting to the east, the farm fields to the south, the ridge where the forest thickens and the prey moves differently. You know this landscape the way a human knows their own home. Every corner, every shadow, every place where the wind behaves unexpectedly. You hunt with precision. You return with food. You do this 5, 6, 7 times a day. Your chicks grow. They are loud and impossible and yours. For a brief, perfect season, you are not surviving. You are living. There is a difference and you feel it in your bones every time you launch from that high branch into the open sky. Not the desperate, uncertain launch of your first flight. This is controlled, intentional. The launch of an animal that has earned its place in the world. But the world does not care what you have earned. The fall. It begins slowly. A cold that lingers longer than it should. A heaviness in your right wing after a hard dive that fades, then returns, then stops fading entirely. The joints that once moved like water now move like they are fighting something. You are 7 years old. In human terms, that sounds young. In hawk terms, you are entering the territory where the body begins to present its bill. Every impact adds up. Every hard landing, every branch gripped in freezing temperatures, every fight, every chase, every borderline kill where the prey fought back and left a small scar you barely noticed at the time. The body keeps score. Your reaction time, still fast by most standards, is no longer what it was. A vole that would have been a certain catch 2 years ago escapes because your dive angle was 2 degrees off. You sit in the empty field breathing hard, and the failure feels different now. Heavier. Your mate is younger than you. She compensates without comment. She hunts more. You watch her from the post and feel something that has no name in your world but would, in a human world, be called humility. The winter that follows is the hardest in years. You lose weight you cannot replace as easily as you once could. The cold pushes deeper now. You find yourself choosing perches that conserve energy rather than those that optimize hunting range. You are making calculations you never had to make before. Survival at this level is no longer about strength. It is about management, about knowing what you have left and spending it wisely. There is a morning, silent, grey, the valley wrapped in fog. When you sit on your highest branch and don't launch immediately, you sit and you watch and you listen. The forest speaks in ways you finally understand completely. Every sound has meaning. Every silence has information. You know this place, you know this life. And you understand, without language, without words, with only the quiet certainty of an animal that has lived fully, that nothing stays at its peak. Not the season, not the storm, not the predator. Everything rises, and everything descends. The final flight. There will come a morning when you launch and the air feels different beneath your wings. Not worse, just different. Like the sky is asking you a question you don't yet know how to answer. You ride the thermal anyway. Up, past the tree line, past the ridge, into the open sky where the whole world stretches flat and wide and impossibly vast beneath you. The river, the fields, the old oak tree where your nest sits, where your mate calls, where a new generation is already learning to scream for more. You circle once. The valley is quiet. The wild doesn't mourn. It doesn't celebrate. It simply continues, ruthless and indifferent and magnificent, the way it always has, the way it will long after your shadow no longer crosses these fields. But you were here. You cracked through a shell. You fell and found your wings. You hunted in snow and raised life in a nest 40 feet above the ground and fought for every single inch of sky you ever owned. You were not the strongest that ever flew. You were not the fastest, not the fiercest, not the one the stories would remember. But you survived. For years, through cold and failure and injury and loss, you survived. And in the wild, in the real, unforgiving, beautiful wild, that is not a small thing. That is everything. In nature, no one wins forever. But every creature that rises, hunts, adapts, and endures has already won something no force on earth can take back. The simple, extraordinary fact of having lived.